79 seats have changed hands because of around 5 crore vote hike that has taken place, spread across 15 states. Don't be fooled by a win here and a win there. Understand what you're losing. You will lose Lok Sabha. You might win Telangana. If you do not arrest this now, forget about democratic India. Don't think I'm too alarmist. Anything can happen anywhere but not in India. Anything can happen anywhere but not in Tamil Nadu. Please don't go into that. Everything there is a first time. If you come out onto the road and say this must stop, it is not because you want to support Rahul Gandhi or Congress party or this party or that party, RJD or BJD. No. It is to save our democracy, it is to save our republic that we need to get onto the road. Election Commission took 11 days to declare the final polling percentage for phase 1. Do you know? 11 days. This Lok Sabha is sitting there on the basis of a fraudulent election. It has to go. If you think that by working hard, you'll win next election, like the casino thing, it's not going to happen. 5 crore votes were hiked. Next election, if you don't stop this now, next election, 10 crore votes will be hiked. By contesting the election, you are only giving an opportunity or you are legitimizing that fraudulent election. So disband the Election Commission, dissolve the Lok Sabha, get rid of this government, clean up the electoral rolls and then conduct the election. Whoever wins, no problem at all. Today when I was traveling from Hyderabad, somebody who sat next to me, because he must have seen me on the YouTube here and there, he said, look Parakala, you're missing one important point. He said, you're aware of the structure of Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. BJP has different wings also. They're called morchas. There is Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, BJYM, the youth wing, Mahila Morcha, Kisan Morcha, Minority Morcha, etc. And he said, recently, over the last 10 years or so, there's a new morcha. I said, what? This is an election morcha. Then I thought, it makes sense. So, what we have today is not the Election Commission of India, but an election morcha. This election morcha did a wonderful job. You know, in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, a lot of exercise was done. I think in this venue, last year, on the 8th of August, just about a year ago, I gave a detailed presentation based on a very thoroughly researched report of the Vote for Democracy group, PFT report, which concluded that 79 seats had changed hands because of around 5 crore vote hike that has taken place. Between the provisional figure announced by the Election Commission of India and the final figure, there's a huge hike that amounted to about 5 crore votes. These 5 crore votes have changed the fortunes of a minimum of 79 seats spread across 15 states. If that had not taken place, the NDA, which now has 293, which they won 293 in 2024, would have been 214. And the opposition alliance, which today has 234, would have had 313. When you take this figure into your mind, 214 NDA and 313 opposition, then my friend who sat next to me in the plane, who said there is an election morcha, makes sense. You know, I must also give you a little warning. In Tamil Nadu, Marudayan and other people, or Mathur Satya, all these people, they look very confident nothing is going to happen to Tamil Nadu. Before the elections, I went to Kerala many times because my book got released and many invitations were there in the universities and other civil society groups. I used to speak and then I used to warn them, look, don't think that your Western Ghats are going to protect you. Something is going to happen. Be careful about it. But they were very complacent. Nothing is going to happen to Kerala. What Kerala? No. But it happened. And the game is very sophisticated game. Please understand this. And you will hear a lot of arguments in the social media and Facebook, etc., that look, what are you talking? If mandate is stolen, they would have had 400 par, isn't it? But why will they settle for 293? Even BJP itself could have had a lot of seats, 400 par they would have had, if they were stealing. They didn't steal. They're good people. You get this kind of a thing. And this, Martin, this is the problem with other political parties also. They are, we have been shouting from the rooftops since when? Since immediately after the elections were concluded in 2024. We've been saying this. Look, there's a lot of problem with 2024 poll data. Nobody talked about it until recently when the leader of the opposition said something after a huge exercise. Now there is a discussion. Good, there is a discussion. But then, we have been shouting. Nobody bothered. You know why they were not bothered? Political parties, why they did not say anything? Because they don't have an answer. If somebody says, when you win Telangana, it's okay, is it? When you win Chhattisgarh, it's all right. When you lose Maharashtra, you say it's stolen. When you win Himachal Pradesh, it's all right. They have no answer. That is why when you win Karnataka, is this okay? When you win Raebareli, is it all right? They don't have an answer. But there is an answer. There is an answer in data. There is an answer in logic. Before I bore you with data, there's a lot of data. I'll tell you that also. But I'll give you a logic. Do you know there is something called casino? Do you know what is a casino? Do you know? You must be playing cards and things like that, isn't it? There are some small clubs. In a casino, if you lose every time you go, will you go again? No. If you go to a casino and lose every game that you play, will you go again? No. How does a casino run? Casino runs on the basis of hope. I win now, I lose now. I win again, I might lose too, but again I'll win. I have a hope. Oh, let me win. I'll win. I'll be able to win. But ultimately, at the end of the day, who wins? The casino wins. You take Chhattisgarh. Maharashtra, no. Dharavi we want. Dharavi development is important. We want that. Chhattisgarh you take. All right. Himachal, take it. No Haryana, because Haryana, when the farmers want to storm Delhi, Haryana we need because we want to stop them. So, the casino is a very, very sophisticated game. Please understand this. Don't be fooled by a win here and a win there. Understand what you're losing. You will lose Lok Sabha. You might win Telangana. You will lose Maharashtra. You might win Chhattisgarh. So casino wins. Please understand this. Why do I say this? I say this because, there is a huge jump of the BJP's vote share in Tamil Nadu. How much do you know? Between 2019 and 2024? 2019, the BJP vote share in Tamil Nadu was 3.58. Sujata? What is it in 24? 11.24. Okay, 11 point. And see, they're showing you progress, growth. So tomorrow, when is your election? If something happens in 26, you see, there's a record from 3.58 to 11.24, then It's not a big deal after that. See, they can also tell you how many seats now. So, which is about how much is the growth? About 8%. 8%. So, which is from 19 to 24, the growth is about 7%, isn't it? There is a wonderful giveaway here, because the provisional polling in Tamil Nadu in 2024 Lok Sabha elections Sujata, and the final figure, the difference was 7.53%. So you can see the growth. There is the growth. Don't think growth is from here, growth is from there. That is why the morcha is important here. Friends, I want to sound an alarm bell. I feel like saying this because after seeing you sitting here for more than 3 hours, I feel confident that you are serious. If you do not arrest this now, forget about a democratic India. If you let this pass now, you are not likely to have another proper general election to the Lok Sabha. Don't think I'm too alarmist. Anything can happen anywhere but not in India. Anything can happen anywhere but not in Tamil Nadu. Please don't go into that. Everything there is a first time. And you have seen a lot of things that have happened for the first time in India. Martin has given you a huge list from Pegasus to, electoral bonds to so many things. This is also likely to happen. It has to be arrested. And for it to be arrested, it cannot be a fight between two political parties or two alliances, and you cannot frame it as, this is one against the other, A against the B, alliance against this alliance, this party against that party. No. It has to be framed in such a way that this is a fight for the republic by the people, by the common voters, by you and me, against this kind of a fraud that is being committed on the country. Only then we are going to save our democracy. I do not want you to think that if you come out onto the road and say this must stop, it is not because you want to support Rahul Gandhi or Congress party or this party or that party, RJD or BJD. No. It is to save our democracy, it is to save our republic that we need to get onto the road. And please stop thinking that if you post on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or something or the other, you have done your duty. No. It has to be feet on the ground agitation to save our democracy. Otherwise, you are not going to save democracy in this country. The other day, I was talking to somebody, I said, look, all this is happening. Then he looked at me and very, very confident, and he was so complacent, he was even smiling. He said, look, I've demolished all those arguments, he said. Where? Don't you follow me on Facebook? He said. He demolished all the arguments on Facebook. So what else? But those two guys are happily going to the bank, vote bank. Okay, I won't take much time. I'll make two additional points. So do you know that we had 7-phase polling, yeah? And Election Commission took 11 days to declare the final polling percentage for phase 1. Do you know? 11 days. It took 4 days to declare the final polling percentage for phase 2. For phase 3, it took 4 days. For phase 4, it took 4 days. For phase 5, it took 3 days. For phase 6, it took 4 days. For phase 7, it took 5 days. Why? Why did the morcha take so long to tell you what is the final percentage of polling? It's very alarming. Sagar, when was the last day of polling? Pardon? First. And when were the results declared? 4th. Last day of polling was 1st, results were on 4th. Do you know that the 7th phase final polling percentage was released on the 6th? After the final results were declared, the election commission gives out the final figure for phase 7. You think it's a child's play? What is happening in digital India? There's one more. Phase 2 is very interesting phase. Phase 2, even today, now, just before speaking, I was checking. Even now, you don't have constituency-wise preliminary polling data. Even now. So you do not know how much is hiked. See, if you say this is the preliminary data and this is the final data, even somebody like me, who doesn't know much of mathematics, can sit down and say, look, this is the hike. Like I told you about Tamil Nadu hike, 7 point something. But you can't say this because, initially, the election commission refused to give, for phase 2, it refused to give even state-wise data. It gave phase data. Phase, the entire phase, what? Entire phase? Does it make any sense? It refused to give. Then it gave state-wise, but no constituency-wise, even today. Now, why is it important? It is important because the strike rate of BJP NDA in phase 2 is extraordinary. Extraordinary. In phase 2, West Bengal, 3 seats went to election. All the 3 seats went to BJP. In UP, 8 seats went to polls. All the 8 went to BJP. In Madhya Pradesh, 6 seats went to polls in phase 2. All the 6 went to BJP. In Chhattisgarh, 3 seats went to polls in phase 2. All the 3 went to BJP. In Tripura, 1 seat went to polls in phase 2. That 1 seat went to BJP. In J&K, 1 seat went to polls in phase 2. That seat went to BJP. In Karnataka, 14 went to polls in phase 2. 12 have gone to BJP. In Rajasthan, 13 have gone to polls in phase 2. 10 have gone to BJP. In Assam, 5 have gone to polls in phase 2. 4 have gone to BJP. This extraordinary strike rate. You have appetite for one more thing, another 5 minutes? Yeah? Why is it important to talk about this hike? Whenever there is a huge hike, wherever there is a huge hike, for instance, in Odisha, the hike was 12.48%. You know what happened? Out of 21, BJP won 20. In Andhra Pradesh, the hike was 12.54%. NDA won 21 out of 25. And so many states, in 15 states, you have large scoring. And what happens when the hike is very, very little? And historically, the hike has never ever been more than 1% between the provisional figure and the final figure salary. Many times it is 0.5% or even less than 0.5% historically. I think this is the time when we have to talk about UP. In UP had polling for all the 7 phases. In phase 1, the hike was 3.25. In phase 2, we don't know. Hike, you don't know because we don't have the figure to compare. There, as I said, 8 seats went to polls and all the 8 were backed by BJP. Now, phase 3, 0.2% hike. Just 0.2%. Phase 4, 0.34%. Phase 5, 0.23%. Phase 6, 0.01%. Phase 7, 0.25%. And you know what happened? From 67, the NDA came down to 36. So when the hike is less, the NDA falls. It fell. Where do we go from here? Now, there's so much to talk about, but I don't want to bore you with a lot of data. In fact, we spoke about a huge amount of data last year when I spoke here. But let me now spend a couple of minutes on what do we do now. Political parties will not agree now, but I am sure that one day they will have to come to this conclusion. One day they will have to come to this conclusion. Look, this Lok Sabha is sitting there on the basis of a fraudulent election. It has to go. And the government which is there now has come out of this Lok Sabha which is fraudulently elected. And it has to go. Why do I say that this Lok Sabha is elected on the basis of a fraudulent election, faulty voters list, with lot of duplication, with lot of fraudulent voters and all that? Why do I say that? Not just because the leader of the opposition had said it. One of the cabinet ministers of this government also had said it, isn't it? Are you aware of that? Yes, he said, look at, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about Mahadevpura? What about that Raebareli? Raebareli also has. So which means that is a fraud and this is a fraud, the entire thing is a fraud. Why would you cancel it? Cancel it and have an election after a proper revision of the electoral roll. And before you do that, disband this morcha. Look, I am asking for something which you think is impractical, it's impossible. What is he talking about? Is he talking out of his hat? And you might say anything. But what is the point in having this pretense of we are in a democracy, we have a government, we have a parliament, we have voting, and we do. Why do you pretend? What is this pretension for? If now there is a cross-party consensus whether they say it or not, because the ruling party has said and the opposition is also saying that the voters list has a lot of flaws. And there are people who are now coming up and saying that, it's been like that forever, always. If that is the case, always the election was a fraudulent election, isn't it? So it doesn't mean that because there was a fraud earlier, this fraud is all right. No. 1952 election was also like that. I was not born. I am not a party to that. This election, I am here and I know that in the voters list I have too many fraud. Sagar had just said. Now, so this is the thing. It has to go. It has to be completely cleansed. It has to be cleaned up and then have an election. Cleaning up is not what our friend Sagar had described. Not like, you eliminate people. No, proper, with integrity. So what we need now is an electoral process with complete 100% integrity. Then, look, all this is not to say, I don't like that party, I don't like this leader, you should not know. No. If it is a process with complete integrity, let anybody win. If I don't like, I'll politically fight. If I like, it's fine. But if the process is rigged, I can't fight. I've been telling a lot of political party friends, look, if you think that by working hard, you'll win next election, like the casino thing, it's not going to happen. This election, 2024, 5 crore votes were hiked. Next election, if you don't stop this now, next election, 10 crore votes will be hiked. Another election after that, 20 crore votes will be hiked. What will you do? You won't do anything. Can't. And you contest the election, there's a fraud, there's a hike, somebody wins, and by contesting the election, you are only giving an opportunity or you are legitimizing that fraudulent election. So, until the electoral rolls are properly cleaned up, until the election commission, this present election commission does not inspire confidence and does not inspire that it could be impartial because the way it is appointed itself gives you a lot of suspicion, because it is appointed like a government secretary is appointed. It is the Prime Minister and a cabinet minister with leader of the opposition. Leader of the opposition has anyway no role there, no majority. It's just the government decision. Supreme Court's Chief Justice role is eliminated. Now, after Supreme Court's Chief Justice role is eliminated, how can you feel that, how can you say that this appointment is an impartial appointment? Well, sometimes, even a government appointee can act impartially. Don't forget Session. Session was not appointed by Supreme Court or anybody else. So, Session was appointed by the government. Still, he said, this is not Election Commission, Government of India, but he said, this is Election Commission of India, not a government department. I am not answerable to the Cabinet Secretary. I am not answerable to the Minister. Nobody can call me. I won't take anybody's call. I am answerable to the President of India. I am answerable to the Prime Minister of India. I am answerable to the I'm President of India. I am answerable to the people of India. I am answerable to the Parliament of India. A government appointee like T.N. Session said that. But the present election commission and the commissioners and the chief election commissioner, look at the way they have conducted themselves. The Prime Minister during the election campaign delivers 110 hate speeches and not a single notice is given to the Prime Minister. That is the election commission we have. And they release the final figures of phase 1 after 11 days. They release final figures of the last phase after the results are declared. This inspires any confidence? Is it impartial? So disband the election commission, dissolve the Lok Sabha, get rid of this government, clean up the electoral rolls, and then conduct the election. Whoever wins, no problem at all. Now, 2 more minutes. Why is this happening? It's important. So what do we do? What has happened? Briefly, I had given you some important things. What do we do? What should happen? Why is this happening? It is happening because there is an agenda to turn this country, this republic, into a theocratic republic, a majoritarian state, a Hindu majoritarian state. This is the agenda. Fair enough. You can have that agenda. I have no problem with it. I have a problem with it, I'll fight it. I disagree with it. But the problem is here, that because the Indian electorate will never ever give a mandate to that kind of a divisive majoritarian agenda. It will never. And this election, 2024 election, is a proof, a strong proof. Even without the fraud, I've brought in 79 seats and told you they wouldn't have crossed 214. I told you that. But even with fraud, no. It's very clear that the Indian electorate has not endorsed this. Therefore, now look at the historical background. You know, before BJP was born, it used to be Bharatiya Janata Sangh. How many people remember? Most of you remember, do BJS. You know, what was the peak performance? And BJS, you know, it had stalwarts. Today, the leadership of BJP is pygmies compared to those people, isn't it? You had, what are the names? This particular, that turning India into a theocratic, majoritarian Hindu state was championed by big people. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Balraj Madhok, Swami Karapatri ji, and that time the RSS Sarsang Chalak Golwalkar was alive. You know, with all those big people, the peak performance of Bharatiya Janata Sangh was 9%. 9% popular vote. And after that, BJS merged into Janata Party. After that, they came out and then started saying that we are Gandhian socialists and all that kind of a thing. Okay, you know all that. And remember, please remember, that every political party those days used to say that we are all secular. Isn't it? Every political party, including the BJP. Today, do they say? No. They're bold. They're bold. Not old, bold. And because they realized then that divisive agenda, peak performance with all those huge personalities was not beyond 9%, we have to do something. They went on saying that we are also secular. And the so-called controversial points on their agenda like Ram Janmabhoomi, Article 370, Uniform Civil Code were put on the so-called back burner. Then they get 20%, 21%, 22%, then they also get allies from DMK, ADMK, TDP, BJD, etc., etc., etc. They form government. 2024 also was not a communal propaganda, communal agenda, communal manifesto. But once they realized they had to do this, and Indian electorate is not endorsing this kind of a thing, what do? Then you build a morcha for elections. That is the reason why we have this kind of a huge fraud of about 5 crore votes hike 2024. Now you have what Sagar told us, the SIR of taking out all those people who are not likely to vote for you. So this is the design. This is why it is happening. It has to be stopped. And it has to be feet on the ground agitation. Not a slacktivism like, you like and you dislike and, you post it and unpost it and retweet it, tweet it. No, it's not enough. And please talk to the youngsters. Please talk to the campuses, Sagar. This is important. Sir, everything has to be done. Don't wait for something to happen. It has to be. And how will you demolish the morcha without a proper agitation, a movement, pressure? And these political parties should stay away from the elections and make the ruling party a laughing stock. And if political parties think if I don't contest the election, they will no, it's not possible. It won't happen. Everybody will laugh at them. Well, just think about it. It's very serious. If you miss this inflection point, Indian democracy is out of our hands. We won't be able to retrieve it. We won't be able to save it. At least now we have a chance. After that, even this kind of a chance, even sitting in a place like this and talking about it also, is not difficult. It would be impossible. Thank you.